For Michael K. and his wingnuts, Don Greca and Peter Rosenberg, it's putup or shutup time. With the final countdown on before Mike Sports Pope Francesa turns over his WFAN balcony to the replacements, aka Maggie Gray, Carlin, and Bartholomew E. it should only be a matter of time before KZSPN 98.7 crew pulls ahead of FAN in the afternoon drive ratings race, which the pontiff has dominated for nearly 3 decades, right? K all but crowned he and his boys kings last week. "Our show is better. It's more entertaining," K said on the air. "We can beat that new WFAN show and we would have beaten Mike if he stayed." Jamal Countess Getty Images for Lord Taylor not so fast big head. While K is correct, his show has evolved into a highly entertaining soiree combining hardcore sports, provocative opinions and snarky jive. No one knows what the new fan trio will like. Not me, you, or even radio savant Christopher Mad Dog Russo, whose gratuitous SiriusXM rip of Scott was doggy doing Francesa's bidding was a cheap shot from a guy who was fishing for publicity. Hey, not even the fandroids know what their new team is like. They never auditioned together before they were hired. How's that for blind faith? Still, based on their individual performances, I believe the new fan trio can come together to create a wall of unique enough to record big-time ratings, maintaining and even surpassing Francesa's numbers. Here's the catch: a spin is already out there saying Gray, Carlin and Scott need time, maybe even months, to get their act together. Baloney. They need to get going quickly. When you enter prime time, and that's what afternoon drive is, you must produce immediately and should be judged from day one. Cindy Ord Getty Images for SiriusXM. The three moths must quickly prove they can hold on to Francesa's large base and not let them defect to 98.7 or another outlet. They must come up super big in the ratings department from the get-go so there is not a mass defection by advertisers from fans' afternoon drive show. A fast start will also help attract new listeners, who were turned off by Francesa. Assembling a diverse cast is admirable. It's the absolute right thing to do. But producing profits, generated by strong ratings and hefty advertising revenue, is what really counts, especially when the radio biz is in the toilet. There will be pressure on the three gas bags to produce from the opening bell. But there is more pressure on Team K. For years, K, and others at the station, explained how ESPN's NYC radio outlet was at a disadvantage. The station came into the market well after FAN and, in afternoon drive, was chasing both a listening habit and radio icon in Francesa. View this as an explanation or an excuse for failing miserably, it really doesn't matter. Now, the K show has a 15-year head start on Gray, Carlin and Scott. The 98.7 show has developed its own from a cast with well-defined roles. So, on December 15th, maybe K will take out that can of Diet Coke and pour it in the garbage can to symbolize the end of an era and the beginning of ratings domination for his show. Putup or shutup time has arrived. Gregory Payonup Fantail. Why did FAN take so long to find Francesa's successors? The suits were holding out hope they could land their number one target, Max Kellerman. Max, who works with Stephen A. Smith and Molly Querim on ESPN's First Take, was set to handle both jobs, according to Radio Moles, because First Take is scheduled to move to ESPN's new NYC studios. If Kellerman agreed to take the gig, FAN likely would have gone with a two-woman team, featuring Max and Carlin. What happened? There were others who turned down the gig. It was all about the moolah economics. Some of the candidates were either delusional or totally misread the marketplace, thinking an afternoon drive mouth-on FAN could still command the kind of dough Francesa pulled in $4 million per when he signed contract extensions in the 1990s and early 2000s. Sources said Kellerman was looking for around $3 million per. The three talkies FAN eventually hired make roughly, combined, about a third of what Kellerman was asking for. The lengthy search was also slowed by suddenly having to replace Craig Carton in morning drive and the prospect of his partner, NJ Esiason, wanting to move to afternoon drive. The team FAN finally hired was put together rather quickly, at the last minute, so to speak. Carlin, gigging on Philly's WIP, had purchased a home in that area a few months ago. Sources said he was told he had little to no chance of nailing the FAN gig until a month ago when the situation changed. FAN put Scott on its radar in late July early August after breakthrough fill-in roles working with Mark Malusis. Gray came from out of the blue, literally at the 11th hour. C.com Gray's game. It would serve Gray well to enter talking, come out verbally swinging, when she debuts with the two Yutses in January. All too often, we've seen women put in similar roles and eventually find themselves playing the role of second fiddle or third wheel when the men start bogarting the microphones. Often the line is the women are doing it for the good of the show. There is little doubt, in what's left of our mind, that Carlin, considering his expertise and experience, will be cast as the anchor of the show, the man planting his tuchus in the power chair. Yet we have faith he will be a benevolent despot. No matter, Gray should come in with her antennae up and never back down. Studio Joe. It would be poetic justice if Aaron Boone becomes the new Yankees manager and Joe Girardi takes his place in ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball booth. Seriously though, with Girardi looking to get into broadcasting, ESPN's studio is a good fit. Fox pre- and post-game shows have become baseball's version of a comedy club. Playing for yucks isn't Girardi's style. ESPN offers more nuts and bolts baseball talk, which Girardi would likely be more comfortable with. Sound bites on the new fan afternoon show. Carlin should have Bobby Oyedna as a regular guest. They could reminisce about their swell times together at SNY. We're betting the under this week on Ben McAdoo's I Have to Look at the Tape references. His MSG post-game shows have become must-see TV. Really going to miss the cutting commentary of Mike Westhoff now with the Saints on SNY's Jets pre- and post-game shows. Especially going to miss him giving host Jonas Schwartz that "what the hell are your football credentials" look. The Giants writers should consider all Janoris Jenkins' soliloquies as auditions for his own reality show. Before Greg Giannotti joins Esiason on Fan's morning show, he should brush up on his Francesca impressions. They need some work. Friday, ESPN's Mike Greenberg. Mike Golick bowed out after 18 years of working together on the radio. Let's just say for them, parting was not such sweet sorrow. Dude of the week. Marquise Goodwin for providing an unforgettable moment. Has scoring a 2-count for a winless football team in Week 10, against the underachieving Giants, ever been more meaningful? Playing just hours after he and his wife Morgan lost their prematurely born son, Goodwin's joy and pain were on display. After he caught an 83-yard 2-count, Goodwin knelt in the end zone and raised the football to the sky. The scene was both heartbreaking and rewarding. Unforgettable. Dweeb of the week. PAC-12 from forcing its member schools to play football games on Thursday and Friday nights, further compromising the players' ability to tackle classroom work, to backing a season-opening trip to China, which backfired to say the least. This conference has evolved to a point where its hallmarks are green, marketing, sponsor activation, and global expansion. How exactly does this serve the college students in their charge? Double talk. What Ben McAdoo said: "A calm doesn't suit me, a storm does." What Ben McAdoo meant to say: "I'm having a bad hair day." Go expletive. Deleted yourself.